All this Ultimate Superbike Shootout action is proudly brought to you by NGK Spark Plugs. Hello race fans and welcome to round 2 of the NGK Ultimate Superbike Shootout here at Red Star Raceway. It was a phenomenal race that we had first time out at Port Elizabeth, but now the riders have come to do battle once again. It's the fastest riders on the fastest machines in the land to do battle. We've got some guys missing, unfortunately the riders from Cape Town, Kewan Snyman, David McFadden, those guys are not here with us, but we've got the introduction of one of SA's fastest talents. He's been racing overseas, but he's come back here to turn it out with the likes of Clint Seller, Carrick Flock, Morne Geldenhuys, Adi van Dalen now on a BMW, Nicole van Asveken, the fastest mother in the entire world, she's now on a BMW. But Dino Bambino Iozzo has come from overseas duty to do battle here on his Yamaha R1. Let's see if he can throw his name into the mix. AJ Fenter, Suzuki, all the manufacturers doing battle here at Red Star Raceway for round 2 of the NGK Ultimate Superbike Shootout. Great to see a packed pit of riders. There's Ian Harwood, minus some fingers. Morne Geldenhuys, he's going to be a top contender here at Red Star Raceway. Carrick Flock, Hendrik de Bruin, one of the surprise packages in practice and qualifying sessions so far. Adi van Dalen now on the very prepped BMW machine. And there is Morne Geldenhuys with Ian Harwood going out on track. You can hear those bikes screaming around. Greg Maloney is joining me in the commentary booth. And Greg, this is round 2. Round 1 was spectacular. We're looking for pretty much the same here at Red Star Raceway.
No doubt about it. A couple of track specialists at Red Star Raceway. Alan John Fenter will definitely be at the front end. Savisa Temba also improving every single time he gets on board. And as you mentioned, Nicole van Asveken, first time out on the BM.
Yeah, and we've got Perron Rasserman on his Yamaha R1. Reino Pretorius is going to be one of the top contenders in the 600 class. And then this man looking to keep that number 1 plate as the ultimate Superbike Shootout champion.
Big surprise is Morne Geldenhuys on pole position. Rob went down to try and catch up with him and find out exactly what his plans are here for Ultimate Superbike Shootout round 2.
Morne Geldenhuys, a brilliant qualifying pole position. You running the Michelin tyres seem to be working at Red Star.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been looking for something that can give us a consistency, and it seems we found the recipe. Very, very good tyre, grips us as well as the AC1, and it doesn't drop the pace as much. So we'll see how it goes in the race. But I don't know how it performs with hot temperature. I've never tested in hot temperature, but we'll see how it goes. I'm sure it's going to be good.
Dino Iozzo, you're back from overseas duty. Come to join us here at Red Star Raceway. Qualifying was good. Predictions for the race?
Yeah, qualifying wasn't too bad. Would have liked to have been a little bit more up front, but we're in a good spot for the race. Definitely think we've got some good race pace. It's our home track. We know it really well, so exciting race coming up.
Now, you've been overseas in the RDM Championship on a 600. You've come here on a Yamaha R1, big 1000cc machine. How's it been to adapt to the bikes?
It is definitely different, but I have ridden the 1000 before, luckily, so I've got to grips with how the machine is, but it's a beast. There's no other bike like it. I love my baby. So yeah, definitely going to be good.
Final preparations and in the pits. Any tyre goes in the Ultimate Superbike Shootout. Join us after the break for Race 1 action. Welcome back to Red Star Raceway for round 2 of the NGK Ultimate Superbike Shootout. NGK in the house. Big thank you to them for putting their brand behind this series. And so far, round 1 down in PE was absolutely phenomenal. Nicole van Asveken, a Red Star specialist. She loves the track. She's now on that BMW machine, teammates with her hubby. Let's see how that conversation is going to go later on at the dinner table. Ricky Morais getting some fresh Pirelli rubber fitted there. It's a good mix of Pirelli, Metzler and Michelin tyres. But Greg, this man, AJ Fenter's got to be one of the favourites.
He certainly has, particularly with the amount of effort he's put in around this track on numerous occasions. Hendrik de Bruin, always super impressive and getting better and better every single time he gets on board. See final preparations being done now for these riders as they head out. Johnny Cricker will definitely be a man to watch out for too, also out of the Lacquer Racing stable. Have a look at that grid though. Morne Geldenhuys, Carrick Flock and Clint Seller only in 3rd.
Dino Iozzo back in SA Racing ahead of Damien Piricati and AJ Fenter. Look at that second row of the grid at 53.7. That's almost lap record pace and you're on the second row. That is the times here.
Hendrik de Bruin just ahead there of Adrian van Dalen, and Reino Pretorius with a massive turnaround as well there in the 3rd row.
Nicole van Asveken on the BMW on the row number 4 ahead of another 600 Clinton Free, and Tion Fichet, good qualifying there for him on row 4.
Now certainly good stuff, and then of course Rasserman ahead of Keegan Mills and Ian Harwood making up the 5th row, and then of course it's Cricker and Temba, the final 2 bikes on the grid. Getting ready to go now for Heat 1 of the NGK Ultimate Superbike Shootout.
Yeah, final thumbs up and high fives there. The red lights go on, the red lights will go off. Who will get that all-important hole shot? Not the best start there from Clint Seller. Got the front wheel up just a little bit. Carrick Flock going to the inside, but it does look like Morne Geldenhuys. Dino Iotso around the outside, Purificati behind Hendrik de Bruin. Then there's Afion van Dalen, and there comes Reino Pretorius, the 600 rider, just putting his way in there and making a nuisance of himself. But watch that big BMW S1000 RR now in the hands of AD van Dalen, just power down that back straight, as does Nicole van Aswerken at the front end. It's the two teammates, the Racecraft Yamaha machines, Morne Geldenhuys and Dino Iotso doing battle, Carrick Flock in third. So it's Yamaha 1, 2, 3, and this very much is a Yamaha track. It's a bike, and a bike that likes to be on the side of the tyre, and it's going to be hard for the likes of Sella and those BMWs to try and get ahead of them.
No, not an easy task, that's for sure. Sella now pushing hard, trying to close that gap down. He's got AJ Fenta on his tail as they come up into the dog bone. You can see the pressure being applied here to the front two from the Diamond Core Yamaha. And Flocky's had a fantastic season so far. He's been up and down at the front end before they changed up to the Ultimate Superbike Shootout. And since he's been here, he's definitely a man to watch out for.
Yeah, now that there's no real rules here, you can do whatever you want with your motorcycles. You can run any tyres, and that really has played into the favour of a lot of riders. Great shot all the way down the field. Peron Parasarasaman, one of the most improved riders. He really has stuck to his guns and worked hard at it. And look at him now racing with the best in the country on the best motorcycles, doing a phenomenal job. AJ Fenta holding off the challenge there from Purificati. That's for the best of the rest at the moment, just outside that podium. You can see Carrick Flock. He's got the corner speed. He's still one of the biggest riders in the category, even though he's got plenty of ponies under that R1. He still loses out a little bit on acceleration and down the long straights here. Morne Geldenhuys, Dino Iotso really are those little race kind of jockey riders, small in stature, getting the best out of those R1s. Morne Geldenhuys out front. He's running the Michelin rear tyre, so it's great to see Michelin, Metzler and Pirelli at the front end of this field.
Yeah, they certainly have turned things around here in terms of the ability for the riders to choose their preferred rubber and go out and play on it. And when I say play on it, we didn't really get to speak about it after the first round. You were down there racing yourself. But the thing that got me the most is how awesome it was to see all of the manufacturers back involved as well. I mean, we literally had every single manufacturer represented on that first grid.
Yeah, it was brilliant. You had Ducati, you had Honda, you had Suzuki, you had Yamaha. Now we've got pretty much Yamahas at what is a Yamaha track. Like I said, they don't mind being on the side of the tyres. We go on board here with Morne Geldenhuys. Just look at the speed. I mean, they're in the 152 lap times every single lap throughout this weekend so far. So the race pace is going to be spectacular. Dino Iotso back from his duties overseas on a 600, doing a phenomenal job here on that Yamaha R1M machine of his. So looks like he's keeping the pressure on the front.
Oh, that's huge.
That's Carrick Flock. A big man like that does not belong that high in the sky. Oh, and he's a ragdoll at the moment.
Oh, he saw. You can see that was not a nice effort there as he came out. The back end just stepped out. Massive high side there for him. He's stuck in the middle of the track. That'd be a bit of a concern there for the COC. Fortunately, he's got back up, and as I thought, red flag has been called. Great call there from the COC. Man stuck right in the middle. Have a look at this. As he comes out, Robbie just lights that back up, and there it is. I mean, how many times have you seen that in motorcycle racing? It's not the first time he's ever done that. It's not the last, but it's certainly not the nicest thing to ever see.
Oh, what do I know? I just said the Yamaha R1 doesn't mind being on the side of the tyre, and it flings him. There's Damien Purificati. He's also gone down, so doing some repairs on the start grid there. And how's that from AJ Fenta? Racing, but comes to help a mate out and gets that bike going on board here with Morne Geldenhuys. Listen to that R1 Big Bang scream as it heads down into turn one. Will it be another whole shot for him? Yes, it is. Much better. Ooh, Sella and Geldenhuys bar to bar as they go into turn one. There's AD van Dalen with Purificati on his tail, so Purificati and Fenta back at it here in part two of race one.
Yeah, part two of race one after that crash with Garrick Flock. He is okay. Fortunately, we got the news from down in pit lane. He's okay, but oh, have a look at this. The King is back, and he's back in the second. King Price Extreme moving through there with Sella on board, and he's up in the second place trying to close things down there. I think it's actually Dino Iotso who might have got to the front there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Sella's got this problem now. He's been dicing with the likes of Lance Isaacs, David McFadden's, all the established guys for so long. Now he's got these youngsters. He's doing a Rossi Sella at the tender age of 35 or 34. He's got Dino Iotso at the age of 21, loving life, racing overseas. Now he's got to deal with these youngsters. So it's a whole new scenario here for Clint Sella, and he's doing whatever he can on that Honda. I know testing hasn't gone too well here at Red Star Raceway, trying to keep up with those R1s. Dino Iotso, let's see, he's got brilliant drive here on the inside. This is where Sella really has been battling to get that Honda hooked up, and Iotso makes the move up into second place. Can he chase down his Racecraft Yamaha teammate now? Geldenhuys still out front.
Great battle between the two of them. It's kind of on a similar vein to what we're seeing in MotoGP at the moment, where the elderly statesmen are aiming to take on the youngsters. It's great to see. And Sella would be loving it, I can tell you right now. He's still up for a big challenge here, and he's not giving up without a fight. He's lost a little bit of ground there, and you can see that the Honda just doesn't have the same kind of squirt or turning ability that the Yamaha. You mentioned how many times that Yamaha looks so good around here. But the Honda's been good, and in the hands of Sella, the development process has certainly come through very nicely. Further down there, Reino Pretorius leading out the 600s at this point in time. Super effort from him. He's actually in a bit of a fight there, I think, if I'm not mistaken, with Clinton Free and with
Yeah, there is. Oh, there's Purificati's gone straight. So whatever problems Purificati had after part 1 of race number 1 seem to be haunting him here. So off he goes. Johnny Cricker also with some problems there on his BMW machine. So it's a race of nutrition at the moment. We see plenty of riders getting it wrong, but no such problems at the front. Here comes Dino Iotso on the inside of his teammate, makes it stick. Can he hold that line? It's a tricky turn. Yes, he does. He pulls that R1 in, and that is the strength of the R1, is it's able to hold the line. At Red Star Raceway, all you do is turn. You spend your life on the side of the tyre and turning, and that is the big strength of these R1. There's no wings on those bikes. There's no nothing. It is just on the side of the tyre, and they love it. And these two riders, again, on the Michelin rear tyre. That seems to be the tyre of choice here around this Red Star track. Just behind them, Sella. And look, there he is, AJ Fenter, the master, the Red Star master, is now in a big battle for that final podium position.
What I want to say is, have a look at the body language on these guys, Rob. They're starting to feel the effects of 14 corners to play with here. So it's going to make it very difficult for these guys. You can see them hanging on. They're literally hanging on by the skin of their teeth to get to that checkered flag.
Here we go, Nicole van Asvierken making that transition from Ducati to BMW machinery, and she's running up inside the top 6 with Reina Pretorius, the leading 600 rider, just behind her. So brilliant stuff. There's Perron Rasserasserman, and just behind him, Keegan Mills, the 3rd place rider in the Supersport 600s. This is his first outing on the 600. Brilliant ride there from him. But back out front, Dino Iotso. Like I said, he's been racing over in Germany for the whole season on a 600. He's come to South Africa on a Big Bang R1, and this is the final lap, final couple of corners left. Morné Geldenhuys is putting the pressure on. Can he make the move? First rule of racing is beat your teammate, but the second rule is don't take your teammate out.
And that's exactly what they're trying to avoid here. Headed to the checkered flag. Flag is waiting. It's the 13 of Iotso is going to take the win. Bambino takes it ahead of Morné Geldenhuys. MG comes through, and look how tight it is for third. Sella just ahead of Fenter as they cross the line there. The Suzuki just not able to get the Honda in the closing stages, but what a battle there between Sella and Fenter in those last couple of laps. And take nothing away from Iotso and Geldenhuys too. Brilliant stuff. There is your podium for the NGK Ultimate Superbike Shootout. Top 3 there, and Rob was down in pit lane to catch up with them.
3rd place at round 2 of the NGK Ultimate Superbike Shootout. Clint Sella was always going to be hard at a track where you've got to be on the side of the tyre for a very long time, and that is the advantage of the Yamahas.
Yeah, if there was more straights, I'd have no issues. Thank you to my team, Steve Kennan, Martin, Olens, Honda, awesome motorbike. For sure, I wasn't at my best, but I hung on as long as I could, and that was a tough one. That was definitely harder than some of them that I've won. So well done to the 2 guys, rode brilliantly, and let's see what we can do next race.
2nd place, Morné Geldenhuys. That looked really tough. Track conditions, very, very hot out there. The racing action was just as hot. But your teammate, first rule of racing, beat your teammate, even if he is on a new spec bike.
Yeah, no, look, I must give it to Dean. He poured it in there. I think the 3rd last lap, I had a high sider, and I lost like 1.5 seconds. But just like closer to the end, the rear would started spinning around the corner just by nipping on the gas. So to edge it out was lacquer, but at least it didn't just drop off a cliff, But it was good.
Top step of the podium in race number 1, Dino Iotso back in South Africa, and that's the way to do it.
Yes, what an awesome first race. Nothing I can complain about. I mean, our goal today was to just get a normal podium. To walk out with the win is it's an amazing feeling. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who supported me, for everyone who helped me build my bike, Fast by Racecraft by Niels. They've done an amazing job with helping me out this year, and let's go into race 2.
Looking forward to it. The 600s had an amazing dice as well. Reina Pretorius on top step of the podium. Rob caught up with our top 3, starting with Keegan Mills.
3rd place then in the Supersport 600 class, first time on the podium here with us. Keegan Mills, how does it feel to be up here?
Oh no, very good. It was a lot of fun. Struggled a bit with the heat and the thousands, but maybe the second race will be a bit better.
2nd place in the Supersport 600 class, Clinton Fourie. Very, very tricky track conditions out there, and your R6 was feeling the pressure a little bit.
Yeah, and we had some overheating issues in the race. It melted a bit of my boots, but it was good. Just hard work that we put in here, and unfortunately it's going a bit wrong. But we assure you we have got a lot more to offer, and we'll definitely be there in the next one. We have some setup to do now, and we'll do it.
Top step once again of the 600cc class. Reino, your home track, you dominated. You were giving some 1000cc's a real go there.
Yeah, trying. Unfortunately, it's Red Star. We have about flipping long straight, so trying to catch 1,000 on the straight.
impossible. But through the turns, we've managed to court. But then on a straight leg, once again, you can't compare. Still out of breath.
Welcome back to an action-packed Red Star Raceway. It's round 2 action of the NGK Ultimate Superbike Shootout, and hopefully we can get a little bit more of race number 1, I should say, and round number 1 from PE, because so far the Ultimate Superbike Shootout has literally just been that, the Ultimate Superbike Shootout. It's the ultimate riders on the ultimate machines doing battle. And Greg, we've got NGK come in and as the title sponsor, but there's a lot more other people to thank as well.
It's fantastic to see Portable Shade with Quinton Jenkins getting behind the scenes. Mark from Diamond Core has got in there as well. Lights by Linear's Wayne Roberts is involved. We've got ASAP with Cole Schultz making a welcome return to Superbike racing in South Africa. RPM Centre with David McFadden. King Price Extreme, of course, supporting the team and also supporting the series. And of course, you've got Legrand Woodcraft that have come in as well. Big thanks to Peter and all of the teams. And basically all the sponsors behind the individual riders as well.
Yeah, no, it really is a great effort, and it's great to see. It's not national superbike racing, but the ultimate superbike racing in South Africa back at it. Carrick Flock, that is a good sight to see, because a couple of minutes ago he wasn't looking like that.
It must be because he's been sorted out by MTech Racing now, and Ricky Marias, I think, is giving him a little bit of advice there and said, listen, do me a favour, ride it like you stole it.
No, if I'd... Yeah, you could
he
just...
He said that.
He
Exactly
said that. If I could have R1 every time Ricky said that to me, I'd be a millionaire. On board now, once again with a pole position man, Mornek Caldace. I just love that camera angle. I love the sound of that R1 as he heads into turn 1. Will it be another whole shot? No, it's not. It's Dino Iotso this time. So Iotso has got that fire under his bum and he's loving life. 80 van Dalen on the BMW now. Dean sorted that bike out. Had some issues in race 1, but don't count him out. That is one very fast rider now on that BMW. Look at it. He's up into what's that? 4th place, just behind Clint Sella. And here comes Damien Purificati and AJ Fenter to make the move. Yes, they do. But it's the 3 R1s once again out front. This is brilliant from Carrick Flock, man.
Oh, was that close? How would you like that, eh? I mean, he's already been down the road and high-sided himself, huge, and he's not even scared to throw it in there into arguably the hardest corner on this track this way around. It's a downhill off camber, and you're basically coming down from a high-speed braking point. Dude, that's one of the most difficult corners in the world, never mind at Red Star.
Yep, that is why we call it the Ultimate Superbike Shootout, because it really is an Ultimate Superbike Shootout. Carrick Flock, this is where he got it wrong in race number 1, keeps it all neat and tidy there. And I was speaking to a couple of riders during the break, and they were saying they're not too surprised that Carrick threw it down there, because the man gets it all kinds of lit up coming out of there. So Carrick Flock, one of the most action-packed riders you'll ever see in South African motorcycle racing, down the up the back straight, I should say, in the slipstream. Flock on the inside. Is he going to make it stick? No. Sella just a couple of tenths off there. The Honda just really not on it here at Red Star Raceway. He's got some brand new fresh Pirelli tyres fitted to that bike. Let's see if he can get himself in the mix.
What I'm concerned about is slightly cooler conditions.
Yeah.
So the track temperature's dropped down, the wind has picked up, so it's a completely different scenario to race number 1.
It is. 51.5 was the fastest lap time by that man, Carrick Flock, in race number 1 before he high-sided himself into the Guardians of the Galaxy territory. Let's see, going into the final couple of turns, all keeping it all neat and tidy. Clint Sella, that fresh rubber, looks like they've made some changes to their bike. He's right in the mix here. Carrick Flock going on there. That is a brave move. Is he going to get it right?
Oh, they pushed it hard.
Man, that is a massive move. To do that move there and make it stick. Flock is not here to hang around and play games.
I thought Brett Roberts wasn't riding in this class anymore. The motocross block pass just came in there from Flock, man.
Yes.
That was proper into the final corner. There you go. A little bit of manoeuvring up there, and Flock up in the second. Sella sitting there going, keep it going, guys. I'll pick up the pieces.
Yeah, he has an instant replay sponsored by NGK, and you could see, on board with Mornek Caldanes. He had nowhere to go. He had the big Flock on his inside, and Flock was able to make it stick. I'm very surprised that those riders managed to make it across the finish line. Remember also that pit lane entry. If you cross over that line, it's a 15-second penalty. A change up there. Mornek Caldanes now back ahead of Flock. So the 3 R1s are going at it. Sella's just sitting there, and Fenta and Purificati are coming along for the ride. Still, low 152 lap times here in these conditions. That's impressive. Flock lining up a move on the inside. Is he going to make it stick? Yes, he does. Gets it all kinds of sideways. Will he get that bike stopped? Yes. Mornek Caldanes trying to fight back. He's got the optimum line on the inside again. Old school block.
Caldanes set up. Caldanes actually sat up there to try and avoid the back end of that Yamaha. And unfortunately, it looks like it might have cost him. I think Sella's got through. Yeah, Sella's got through there. Caldanes had to sit up. He had no other opportunity and no other choice. And then just behind that, Purificati and Fenta sitting there going, all right, guys, we'd like a little bit of this pie, please.
Yeah, I could tell you, all these riders inside the top 6 here, they do not mind this bumping and barging. We know Flock is one of the hardest guys. Mornek Caldanes doesn't mind getting those elbows out. He has a replay of it again, powered by NGK spark plugs. And Keldena's trying to line it up on the inside and just no room. Flock just turns at R1 and Silla tries to make the move on the inside and he makes it stick. So Keldena's getting a little bit out of shape. They're on board. How close was that? These two riders, I wonder if there's a little bit of love lost. And Silla, there's definitely some payback going on here between those two guys.
It's great to see.
Come race Ultimate Superbike.
This is what it's all about, exactly.
Why would I want to? Keldena's now back ahead of Silla. Silla is not happy on that machine. We know Clint Silla in PE dominated. Look how dusty the track is there. Purificati offline. And like you said, the wind is blowing all that farmland onto this racetrack, making it very difficult.
Dalmas is all over Red Star at the moment, unfortunately. No choice about it. But further back here, nice to see, of course, the battles through the field. Adrian Van Dalen's been caught by the first of the 600s there, Reino Pretorius. Pretorius has pulled a big gap, though. He's got Nicole van Arsvegen and Clinton Faree way behind him. So I think he's going to look for a double here relatively easily. Have a look at the pace I was about to pick up on a little bit earlier when we saw Damien Purificati running wide onto the short straight and watching both him and AJ Fenter closing down on Sella. I think it's a little bit of time for another battle here into the closing stages.
Yeah, speaking to AJ Fenter in between the break, and he said he literally threw everything he had. He said the Ironman TT didn't even come close to what he threw at race number 1, and he's here to do it in race number 2 again. He's got something about that Suzuki this weekend. Him and his dad have worked hard. Damien Purificati, what I love about Damien is been racing for a couple of years now, but he fixes everything himself. That motorbike is prepped from himself, so the trust he has in there is phenomenal. And look at the different lines they're taking. Clint's having to turn that the Honda tight just to try and get the bike in, and he's running wide coming out, so the setup not brilliant. Here comes AJ Fenter on the inside, a change up then, yes we do, that's for 4th place only, the 3 R1s still up ahead. So Sella looks like a bit of a sitting duck at the moment. Purificati's going to try and make his way through.
Yeah, Purificati's got a chance of getting through on him. I can tell you Sella right now might be battling a little bit. Maybe he cooked those tyres a bit too much. I know the track conditions are a little bit better for track and for the tyres, but unfortunately it doesn't go on the way for the Honda, and Sella is really battling here in the closing stages. Looks like Pretorius has closed that gap down ever so slightly as well here on Van Dalen, but I don't think he'll get past Van Dalen. He'll be happy just to sit there for the win.
Yeah, that is a name that we're going to have to keep a note on. Reino Pretorius, the speed that this kid has shown. Last year, in fact, he was riding a Supersport 300 machine, and here he is, the fastest Supersport 600 rider in the country. Speaking of the fastest riders in the country, Carrick Flock still holding down second. Dino Iotso is clearing out, and he's checked out at the front end of this field. On board here with Morne Keldena's. This is where Flock went flying in the air a couple of hours ago, but he's kept it all neat and tidy there. You can see the different lines once again. Morne Keldena's going to get brilliant drive here. Yes, he does. Flock a little bit wide, but still able to hook it up. And let's see the slipstream effect. Both R1 machines. That's a new R1 versus slightly older generation R1. And Keldena's makes a move on the inside. Now this is almost a triple apex corner. Can he hold it? Yes, he does. This is coming into the final stages now. Carrick Flock doing everything he can, flicking it over into the left-hander. Good line there from Morne Keldena's. Again, another triple apex turn. Because it runs the other way, these corners really do tighten up as they come out. No problem for Dino Iotso, who's loving his return here in South Africa.
I want to mention the fact that Dino is literally... Oh, no, I can't. There's Flock down again. He's crashed out again with literally 4 corners to go. Garrick Flock making a big mistake there on the MTech Racing and Diamond Core drilling machine. Unfortunately out. That's going to give possibilities of AJ Fenter to be on the podium. Yes, he is. There he is. Coming across the line. Having pulled that move earlier on, he gets himself up on the podium. Damien Purificati's actually got through on Sella. Sella drops down to 5th place. That's certainly not what Clint Sella wants.
Top 3 in the 600s in. Reino Pretorius again ahead of Clinton Free and Keegan Mills.
Great to see some money back in South African motorsport, particularly in the two-wheel side of things. King Price and Legrand sponsoring the money for the Ultimate Superbike Challenge.
3rd place, race 2 of the NGK Ultimate Superbike Shootout. AJ Fenter just missed out in race 1, but race 2, you're on the step.
Yeah, Rob, you know, these Suzukis are hard to ride around here, but probably the biggest load of fun there is. Big thank you to my dad. You know, he prepped me a really, really good bike. Thank you to Uncle Ricky. You know, the pet talks help. You know, everyone knows, but Uncle Ricky speaks to you before a race, it helps. So, yeah, I think I had a good rhythm. Those front guys were really riding hard. They were scrapping it up. But listen, it's top racing. You know, I hope there's more guys in. I hope more guys come ride, you know, and we make a good event of it.
2nd place on the podium. You're making a habit out of this, getting some prize money here. Morne Keldena's tricky conditions compared to race 1. The wind picked up, there was more dust on the track, but you kept your head and you just picked away at it and on the podium again.
Yeah, no, look, honestly, I did not expect a tough race like this. I got out there, Dean got me on the launch, and then I just knew it's going to be a dice. Dicing with Dean, got past, and then the dice just started from there. Gary came flying past, bashing handlebars. What a crazy race, what a crazy race. Then I think it was like the 4th lap, Clint came past, swinging past after me, and Garrick had another bar bashing session. And then I thought that I wasn't going to catch up to second, and I managed. So I'm truly grateful just to be here. And once again, like, thanks to BST. If it wasn't for them, that old dog of mine wouldn't have been able to keep up, you know. So thank you. Thanks, guys.
Dino Iotso, you race overseas in a very tough World Championship in the IDM Championship. Didn't quite go your way there on a 600. You come back to South Africa on a 1000cc bike at a track you know and clearly love. 2 wins. Got to be happy with that.
No complaints whatsoever about this weekend. You know, this was our goal for the week. 2 podiums. Glad that there were 2 wins. Yeah, just an indescribable feeling today. Just thank you to Racecraft again for setting my bike up, for always being there for me and to support me through the thick and thin. I really appreciate it.
Top 3 in the 600s, getting money from ASAP and from Lights by Linear. Massive thanks to them.
Reina Pretorius, another win, another top step of the podium. You're becoming the fastest Supersport 600 rider in the land.
Yeah, it was quite difficult. The conditions changed very quickly. That's typical Delmos for you. We know we live here, so it was fun day, but we will come back stronger. And the lap times we're not still happy about, but we'll get there.
Best of the rest, courtesy of RPM Centre, goes to Nicole van Asvier and the fastest mom in the world. Great to see the spirit of the day, courtesy of DCCS, going to Ian Harwood. And there you go, rider of the day, courtesy of Legrand, going to Dino, $1,800. And fastest lap, 151.5 to Garrett Flock, courtesy of RPM Centre.
Shannon from NGK Spark Plugs, round 2 of the NGK Ultimate Superbike Shootout here at Red Star Raceway. And again, things are just building. A brilliant representation of the fastest riders in the land on the fastest bikes and for the NGK brand.
Absolutely. I mean, as usual, NGK is always pleased to be involved and couldn't have asked for a better race. Having spectators here as well, I mean, honestly, that's what we need, right? We want the people here. We want the guys on board, the fastest races. Was an amazing event.
You've got exactly that. That is exactly what we wanted, and it's fantastic to see it back in South African racing. The Ultimate Superbike Shootout makes its way down to Desi's Raceway on the 20th of November. We'll be there for some more high-flying action. Make sure you come and join us. Rob, unbelievable stuff.
Cannot wait. All this Ultimate Superbike Shootout action is proudly brought to you by NGK Spark Plugs.